You're listening to the Unapologetically Alive podcast, episode number 3. A desk job absolutely suits some people, but it has never suited me. I sat behind a desk for 9 years, unknowingly gaining a ton of self-reflection. Today, I'm incredibly grateful for the desk I've sat behind, the time I spent in uncomfortable office chairs at a desk I personalized in an effort to help me stay motivated and actually help me discover who I am. Thanks to working in corporate America, I now know that after the 6-month honeymoon phase wears off, I quickly become disenchanted when I'm not 100% invested. Thanks to this realization, I've lost jobs that I never wanted and gained the career path I've been wanting to create. Want to hear more? Pour that second cup of coffee and let's get started.
You're listening to the Unapologetically Alive podcast. Lifestyle empowerment coach Tonya Noland will help you discover how you can start living more boldly, authentically, and without regrets by building a lifestyle based around your passions and purpose. It's time to define what success means to you, push fear aside, and celebrate who you really are by being unapologetically you.
For the first few years after graduating from college, I felt like there was something wrong with me. It was the peak of the recession in 2010, and I found myself struggling to find a job. Literally any job that would pay the bills. Without fail, once I found a job, I'd start feeling disillusioned and detached from the day-to-day within the first 6 months in the seat. I kept thinking to myself, this was not how my professional career was supposed to go, was it? Why couldn't I just do the work and feel grateful for having a full-time job that paid the bills? With time comes realization, and now I know there was only one reason I was taking these jobs. They paid the bills. I wasn't passionately striving to create a career I would have for the next 40 years. I was collecting a paycheck in order to travel, pay rent, buy groceries, build my side business, and enjoy life. Like most people, I told myself I had to be responsible, bite the bullet, and sacrifice personal fulfillment in my 9 to 5. I told myself that these whatever jobs would fund the bigger picture and the lifestyle I was working so hard to create through coaching and entrepreneurial ventures. For those of you who are just tuning in and may not know my story, I was laid off 3 times between 2011 and 2014. Tune into episodes 1 and 2 to hear my full story firsthand. Even after being laid off from multiple jobs, I continued to believe I needed to do whatever it took to have the income to build my passion in my free time, nights and weekends. I'd been living in San Luis Obispo, California since 2006, and after graduating from Cal Poly, found myself struggling to make ends meet in a very small but expensive part of Central California. Once my now husband and I moved to Seattle in 2017, I again took the very first job that fell into my lap in order to secure an income in this new city we now called home. Within the first 2 weeks, I was already chomping at the bit to quit, feeling stifled and extremely frustrated by micromanagement. There were many times in the first month and a half where I found myself crying on Sunday nights, already dreading the thought of going into work the next day. I knew exactly what would greet me on Monday morning: micromanagement and a completely unfulfilling day. This was not the lifestyle I envisioned for myself starting a new chapter in Seattle. This move was supposed to represent endless possibilities for Dane and I. We'd find better paying, more fulfilling work than we ever could have hoped to find back on the Central Coast. However, there was one difference this time. I was more self-aware. The lack of fulfillment would not deter me from the importance of my own happiness and personal well-being. I was miserable 5 days per week, so it was time to find a different job. A job that I didn't dread every Sunday night. A job where I enjoyed my coworkers and gained fulfillment from the work I was doing. Within 2 weeks, I was offered a position at a creative staffing agency in downtown Seattle. My graphic design degree and experience in building network marketing teams from the ground up made me a natural fit. I was excited at the prospect of helping companies in the Seattle area connect with creative talent looking for work. Even better, I'd finally have the opportunity to surround myself with a team of fun and creative young professionals. Maybe, just maybe, this job and this company would finally be the last stop on my resume before I was ready to make the full time leap into coaching. Fast forward 2.5 years, and I'm still working at the creative staffing agency. While working with my peers is enjoyable, again, I'm finding myself completely disillusioned by my day to day. Does anyone else see a pattern here? Yes, I enjoyed helping my clients fill jobs and find employment for creative candidates. Why wasn't that enough? At the same time I started feeling disillusioned in my role, the job market started to shift. The pace of business slowed down as the year progressed. As shifts in management changed, so did the tone and culture within our once energetic and vibrant team. I was reminded that this was a sales job, first and foremost, with what felt like unrealistic metrics to achieve in a visibly slowing economy. Something was in the air. Another recession, perhaps? It sure felt like it. Yet the expectations for year over year growth was not heeding the economic warning signs. I was directed to make more calls and find out why we weren't receiving as much business from my client accounts. When our regional vice president would visit our office, a heavy fog settled over the team. Instead of feeling empowered and supported to do my job, those old, familiar feelings of micromanagement and frustration began to set in. I became completely detached from the work I had so enjoyed the previous year. For me, stress shows up in the form of extremely sore throats and perpetual stomach issues. From May through September 2019, I had either a stomach issue or unsettled feeling in my gut at least 2 to 3 days per week, coupled with sore throats on the regular. To make matters worse, the ferries we rode from our home to downtown Seattle were constantly being switched out for maintenance, resulting in unreliable network reception. Utilizing my 2-hour round trip commute to build and market my coaching business became nearly impossible. I found myself crying, not only on Sundays in anticipation of going into work, but also on the occasional weeknights as well. I was devoting so much of my time commuting to a job that didn't align with my goals that I didn't have time to focus on building my business, let alone taking on new coaching clients. It was making me physically ill, and I longed for a day job that would allow me the flexibility and opportunity to work from home. As if the universe heeded my call and knew it was time to kick my butt, I had a meeting with my manager that ultimately did just that. I was informed that the revenue I was making for the company had dropped enough to warrant a major decision. I could either put in my 30-day resignation or be placed on a process improvement plan to increase my numbers and generate more revenue for the company. My gut reaction was I was no quitter. However, being placed on a process improvement plan meant even more micromanagement than I was already experiencing. Is this what I really should be fighting for? Was it time to make the side hustle the full-time hustle? My manager looked me in the eyes and said, "This job isn't for everyone. Not everyone is meant to sit behind a desk. You have amazing content. Don't let this experience cause you to lose sight of what you have to give." Holy shit, yes. Here I'd been stressing myself out for an entire year, and all it took was this push to make me realize I'd lost my enjoyment for the pseudo-sales career path I'd found myself on. I knew the only sales I ever wanted to do is sharing and marketing my coaching services and products, things I truly believed in. There on the spot, I quit. Well, professionally speaking, I resigned. I was losing a job I didn't even love, let alone like. I celebrated by using the next 30 days to line up some part-time or remote work. I planned carefully this time how to build my coaching business while responsibly bringing in income to support my bigger dreams. This time, I listened to my gut, literally. And what do you know? 2 weeks into giving notice, the perpetual stomach aches and stress melted away. I'd officially started the process of closing the chapter on commuting 15 hours per week to the job that had been stressing me out for the past 9 months. I would fully dedicate my efforts to what I was being called to create. It was time to move forward. Mentoring women and helping them get clear on how they could live unapologetically aligned to their passions and define what success meant to them. It was time to move forward. mentoring women and helping them get clear on how they could live unapologetically aligned to their passions and define what success meant to them. After all, what kind of coach would I be if I didn't follow my own advice, right? I have to say, it's amazing what can happen when the universe forces you to take the plunge and follow your dreams. Remember how I was looking for some part-time remote work to help me responsibly rebuild my coaching empire? Well, that opportunity materialized the last 2 weeks before leaving my full-time job. And what's amazing is the company is focused on educating people in real estate investment. Another passion and income stream Dane and I have been working hard to create. In my last 2 weeks at my job, I reflected on my time at this company. I was grateful for the friendships it allowed me to make and how it helped me improve my communication skills and on-the-spot decision-making. This job had reaffirmed a recurring truth. I am not meant for corporate office culture. Year after year and job after job, it was only a matter of time before my soul yearned to be free. This time, I'm learning my lesson and won't be jumping into the next job that falls in my lap just to make ends meet. I'm going out on my own, 100%, and I'm beyond ready and excited. All the initial fear was just the universe confirming those fears were a compass, pointing, okay, screaming at me to embrace this change. Thank goodness I listened, and thank the universe I lost my job. Now, I want to hear from you. What big decision have you been struggling with? Maybe you're hesitant to make a big career or lifestyle change, move somewhere new, or pursue a dream. Whatever it is, remember I'm here to help. Go to my website, tonyanoland.com, and leave me a message or schedule a discovery call. Together, we can start exploring how we can tackle your biggest hurdles together. With that, stay tuned for part 2 of this episode in 2 weeks, where I will share more how-tos on how you can break the mold in your own life. See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Unapologetically Alive podcast. Did you enjoy this show? If so, subscribe and share it with your friends and leave a review on iTunes. For more great resources to help you start living more boldly that Tonya only shares in email, head over to tonyanoland.com and subscribe for email updates. Until next time, be bold, break the mold, and keep on being unapologetically you.